Hey guys, welcome back with the QB Docs. Today I'm joined here with Dusty, and today's topic is a unique one where we're going to talk about why lack of range of mobility in certain areas of the body can actually cause a lack of follow-through, but can actually act as the braking system for quarterbacks. So instead of using the musculature as the braking system, the lack of range of mobility acts as the braking system. So therefore, there's a decreased performance with the throwing motion. All right, so there's really three areas we want to talk about where this braking mechanism can happen. Okay, so Dusty is going to throw towards the camera. All right, and he shifts his weight back and he's opening up to throw. All right, after Dusty releases that football, all right, we had to decelerate throughout the rest of the motion. But in order to get to this point, where this release point where we decelerate, what can happen is as this foot comes down, and I start to try to push forward to come on that foot, there's areas that can actually decrease my ability to drive my body forward and produce the force that it needs to put velocity on throws. So the first area would be this left hip. All right, we've talked about this left hip a lot before, but not in this aspect. So if Dusty's trying to come forward and plant on this left hip and really push forward to finish his motion, we've talked about how his trunk can come back and he can't get on that left leg. But what happens too is that force is stopped. So you almost like you slam on a brake. So Dusty, if he's trying to push his body forward and produce force to get that ball going forward, if he doesn't have good range of motion on that left hip, you're going to slam on that brake and he's going to hit a wall. So with this, is there a lack of range of motion, but also going to be a lack of stability in the hip, so a lack of strength in that hip too, because of this lack of mobility. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is if you can clear this up, this left hip, the second place would be this thoracic spine. So once Dusty gets here, he has to finish all the way through the motion in left rotation. So Dusty ideally will want his hips stacked on top of his feet and then rotate all the way through in the left rotation. Well, a lot of times, since quarterbacks start here and they rotate right so much, they lack a little bit of left rotation. So once again, we have another braking system that we don't want to have that can decrease our ability to follow through and decrease our ability to produce power on our throws. All right? So fix that left thoracic rotation. The third area would be this right shoulder. Okay? So quarterbacks, this is why we don't bench press, all right? But this pec can get very short, which pulls the shoulder forward. If the shoulder's pulled forward, then it lengthens these external rotators of the shoulder, of the rotator cuff. So now, while Dusty face the camera, again, at the very end of this throwing motion, he has to decelerate the arm going forward. So if he's going forward, and this shoulder is put in a bad position, and it's being pulled forward because of the pec, we have braking system error number one, where these external rotators are going to have a really tough time because now they're overstretched and they have to decelerate the arm. And then we're going to enter rotation. We have to use those muscles eccentrically, which is a lot harder on those muscles to begin with. So these small external rotators are now being called upon to decelerate in a disadvantaged fashion, which can put a lot of strain. That's why you have a lot of bigger quarterbacks have a lot of rotator cuff strains because of the stiffness they have in the front of the pec. All right, so number one, fix your hip, fix your internal rotation of your hip. Number two, fix your left rotation, okay, and thoracic rotation. And number three, open up that shoulder joint so you don't have risk of rotator cuff strains. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Go clean that stuff up. If you like that video, please check out our other videos, the QB Docs, on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or our website, theqbdocs.com.